Happy Monday. It's October 28th. Welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. Grant Olson is away tonight. He spent the weekend helping his beloved Buffalo Bills trounce the Seahawks 31-10. I'm Jefferson Robbins. Here are a few of the stories we have coming up for you this evening. Agriculture students from Chalan got starstruck last week at the National FFA conference, where they met a superstar in the world of livestock science. And a popular wildlife area in the Methow Valley is getting a little more land, and Fish and Wildlife agents say the move will help preserve some much-needed habitat. Halloween is looking like a classic example of autumn weather in the inland Northwest, with highs below 50 and a chance for some rain on Thursday. Dan Kuntz will be along a little bit later with your full weather forecast. First, our top story tonight. 2 juvenile pedestrians were struck and injured Sunday evening by a motorist believed to be under the influence. The Grant County Sheriff's Office says the 2 boys were struck from behind by a 2006 Honda Accord about 6:30 p.m. in the 8500 block of Road T Northwest, 5 miles southwest of Quincy. The driver was identified as 25-year-old Rene Dominguez Molina of Quincy. Deputies say the 2 pedestrians were walking on the shoulder of the rural road when they were struck, and EMTs brought them to Confluence Health Central Campus in Wenatchee for treatment of serious injuries. Dominguez, whose car ended up in the ditch, was arrested on suspicion of vehicular assault and DUI. The boys' injuries were not believed to be life-threatening. The case remains under investigation. A cougar stalks the woodlands around the Leavenworth National Fish Hatchery. Hikers near the intersection of Icicle Road and East Leavenworth Road have reported spotting the big cat moving parallel to them as they use the hatchery trail system. Cougars are not uncommon in the upper Wenatchee Valley, and hatchery managers are warning visitors to be aware of their surroundings and use common sense. Attacks on humans are rare, but steps when you encounter a cougar are to face the animal, stand straight, make yourself appear larger, and do not run. Pets should also be kept on a leash to avoid attracting or antagonizing a cougar on the prowl. Students from Chalan's FFA program got a thrill last week at the Agriculture Organization's National Convention in Indianapolis. They had a chance to meet and speak with Temple Grandin, a pioneer in humane livestock management. Grandin was the keynote speaker for the convention. She's also a major advocate for people living with autism. The Chalan FFA Club spent months fundraising for the chance to travel to the event, but they had no idea they'd have a chance to meet a hero in the field of livestock agriculture. For her own part, Grandin said neurodivergent people, like herself, have an essential place in the agricultural sciences. East Wenatchee drug dog Maverick is getting results for the Valley's law enforcement agencies. East Wenatchee Chief Rick Johnson says a Wenatchee officer performed a traffic stop last Monday at the intersection of Russell and Monroe Streets and arrested the driver, 51-year-old Miguel Tamayo, after discovering that he had an outstanding felony warrant. The officer also allegedly found a note in Tamayo's pocket that mentioned exchanging drugs for money. Maverick arrived and alerted his handler near the driver's side door. A search warrant for the vehicle allegedly yielded 500 fentanyl pills, an ounce of fentanyl powder, and an ounce of methamphetamine, as well as an unlawfully possessed firearm. Tamayo is now being held at Chelan County's regional jail on a bail of $100,000. Well, when we come back, President Biden apologizes for the mistreatment of indigenous children by federal Indian boarding schools, and Colville tribal representatives were there to hear it. I'm Jefferson Robbins, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Stay with us.
At Abby's, it's kind of simple. We're not rocket scientists. We just make great pizza. When you're ready for traditional values, time with your family, and a great meal, you're invited to Abby's. Order at abbys.com. Our family is here for your family. It's fall. Want a great value that doesn't involve pumpkin spice? Try Abby's Barbecue Chicken Pizza. Save and enjoy a pizza with loads of quality toppings to the edge. Your taste buds and your wallet will thank you. Enjoy Abby's October special at a very special price.
Hi, this is Brad Hawkins, and I'm running to be your next Chelan County Commissioner. I'm very proud to have grown up in Wenatchee, and now to be raising a family of my own here. From Washington Elementary to Washington State Capitol, I've gained valuable experiences in my life and career, and I look forward to bringing it to the county. Serving as a county commissioner is a complex job, We need and deserve a proven, experienced leader. I'd be honored to have your vote.
Hi, I'm Mike Steele, and I've been honored to serve you as our state representative for District 12 for the last 8 years. With experience in several leadership roles in civic organizations, as well as being a lifelong resident, I've championed projects that have made a difference in our community. I plan to continue the progress we've made together.
Re-elect Mike Steele, your voice in Olympia. Together we can achieve more. Visit votemikesteele.com. Paid for by the citizens to elect Mike Steele.
I'm Keith Gaynor, running for your next 12th District State Senator. It's been a privilege to serve you the past 6 years in the House of Representatives. I believe public safety is a critical issue that affects all of Washington. This should be one of our highest priorities. Washington families are struggling. Housing, food, and gas prices are severely affecting our budgets. We need to find better ways to support our families. Together, we can build a better Washington.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. Representatives of the Colville Confederated Tribes were on hand last week as President Joe Biden issued an apology for the Indian boarding schools project that traumatized Native families for 150 years. Colville Chairman Jared Michael Erickson was among the dignitaries who heard the president's address at the Gila River Indian community in Arizona on Friday. Biden called the mandatory Indian school era, which ended in 1978, one of the most horrific chapters in American history. Indigenous children forced into the schools were denied opportunity to speak their own language or pursue cultural practices, and they were often subjected to physical and sexual abuse. Colville leaders said the apology marks a first step toward acknowledging and addressing past injustices. The late-night internet surfers might find their service interrupted after midnight tonight. Localtel's fiber network is scheduled for maintenance starting at 2 a.m. to change routers that direct online traffic. The outage is expected to last until 4 a.m., and most users should see only minimal impact. Localtel says the switch should increase performance and reliability for all its customers. Now, the Mettal Wildlife area just got a little bit bigger. At a weekend meeting, commissioners of the Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife approved the acquisition of 3.4 acres to add to the Texas Creek unit. Located off Highway 153 south of Carlton, the agency says the addition of the parcel protects riparian habitat along the Mettal River that otherwise would be considered critically imperiled. It will cost Fish and Wildlife about $108,000, with funding provided by a grant from the State Recreation and Conservation Office. Well, coming up next, through this week, you can watch our investigation into racial and gender-based harassment at Wenatchee Valley College. We'll have a sample for you coming up. And damp weather is on the horizon, or so our fill-in non-meteorologist Dan Kuntz tells us. He'll be along shortly after our feature story with your long-range forecast. Stay tuned.
We in Northeast Washington are proud of our small-town heritage, but Olympia's one-size-fits-all policies have made life here more difficult. I'm former Mayor Suing Moody, and for the past 13 years, I fought for the needs of the people of Twisp in the face of disaster. Now, I'm looking to bring my record of strong leadership to Olympia as your state representative, to preserve the way of life our families have enjoyed here for generations. I'm Suing Moody, and I'm asking for your vote, because we shouldn't have to give up anything to live here, and we won't.
Have you ever played that game, What Would You Rather, where you give two options to see what your friend would choose? Well, let's try it. What would you rather? Would you rather have a telemarketer from a foreign call center named David, or a local North Central Washington agent who has been helping folks for over 20 years on Medicare and has 5 offices to serve you, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. So, what would you rather? Now give us a call at Springwater Insurance. Our phone number, 509-888-2600.
A ductless unit from Carrier can keep anyone comfortable. Take Shelly, for instance. She finds me time in her new attic-turned-home gym. And with her Carrier ductless unit, the temperature is always perfect, no matter how intense her workout gets. Carrier. Total comfort, totally happy.
Turn to the experts, Carrier and Alpine Air. Heat and air, call Alpine Air.
Lifeline Ambulance has partnered with Wenatchee Valley Tech to provide EMT certification training within the high school. This opens up career opportunities in EMS, fire, and other medical fields, and gives these students a leg up when entering the workforce.
Students at Wenatchee Valley Tech, through our partnership with Lifeline Ambulance, can now earn their National Registry EMT certification.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. Last week, NCWLIFE published a months-long investigation into allegations of racial and gender-based harassment at Wenatchee Valley College. 6 women who have previously worked or currently work at the institution told us that there's been inaction by leadership to address these issues on campus. Some of the women mentioned in this report went to the Human Resources Office for help, but said they did not receive support from that college department. You can find our full report on NCWLIFE.com. Here's a clip from that special.
If you did go forward to HR, most likely nothing was going to happen, or worse, you would then end up being treated differently because you had come forward. And so there was absolutely no trust in HR. It got to the point where people just wouldn't take things to HR.
HR, of course, does have and the administration, they have the ability to say, wow, that's the 4th complaint that so-and-so has said about someone. Maybe let's investigate.
Along with the Title IX coordinator, college campuses are required to have Title IX investigators.
I was a Title IX investigator, and I saw the ways in which certain complaints that would come forward would get attention, others wouldn't. The HR director would kind of pick and choose whether it was somebody who they, liked and supported versus somebody who they didn't. Instead of just following protocol and the rules, there were times when an investigation was done, and instead of coming at it from a place of let's figure out what actually happened, it was coming at it from a place of, oh, I know this guy and he's really nice and he would never, do something like that.
I felt like the primary goal of HR was to smooth over and make it appear that they hadn't done anything wrong, as opposed to, try to find out what happened and take care of it.
With Dr. Harrison, coming to be our new president, we were really hopeful that he would be more engaged and would take more of a leadership role as far as making decisions at the college. But that hasn't really panned out.
It's like we all work so hard to serve our students, but then we're not being supported or served or protected by our offices, our administration.
I think the public needs to know that the college is in crisis and that many of their community members who were longtime employees have chosen to leave. And I think it's so important that we don't just sweep that under the rug and let people say it's because they had other opportunities or they wanted to do something else. No, many of us never wanted to leave the college, and it was heartbreaking for us to do so.
I want it to become a safe place. There are some people that need some discipline to happen, right? They need to know that what they're doing is not acceptable and in a real way.
I feel like the community, if they understood, they would make the college have to be more responsible. That would be my hope, right? Like, I want the college to exist for these students. I want the college to be a place where people can come in and, earn a degree and get a better job. I want all of those things.
I wanted to be able to tell the families that I know, yes, send your kid to the college. And at the time, I could not recommend them to send them to the institution that I was working in, because I wouldn't have felt okay recommending that to someone and then knowing that their kids wouldn't have a good experience. So the community needs to know so that the college can be accountable. There is enough people working there that can make the college a great space. And it starts with accountability.
Keep them doggies rolling. Got the weather forecast at 5. Hi, everybody. Dan, boy, I really need a haircut. Coons filling in for Grant Olson, who doesn't need a haircut because he's well, he's follically challenged, but we'll leave that for another day. Clouds this morning, a little bit of raindrops, but lots of sunshine this afternoon. Tomorrow, all sunshine. Things start changing Tuesday night, and then from Wednesday into Friday, we're going to get wet, especially Halloween. You ready for a wet Halloween? Looking pretty good. About an 80% chance of you ghosts and goblins going to get wet on Thursday night. It's also going to be cold. It's going to be raw. There's a big system heading our way. It's taking its sweet time, but quick heads up, if you haven't made plans yet for Thursday afternoon, Thursday night, make sure your ghosts and goblins are dressed warmly and dressed dryly. They're going to need it. 56 at the airport today, which is silly because nobody actually lives at the airport. 41 for the overnight low, just a little bit above normal. Days are getting shorter, still losing about 3.5 hours, 3.5 minutes, 3.5 minutes of daylight a day, 3.5 hours. That would freak even me out. Friendly reminder, daylight saving time comes to an end on Sunday. Thank goodness. That means more light in the morning and more dark in the afternoon. We go back to standard time at 2 a.m. on Sunday. I, for one, can't wait. You like the number 54? There it is for you all over the place out in the Columbia Basin. Quincy will finish up at 54 tomorrow. 55 for Wenatchee, Omak, again, the warm spot, just a couple of degrees warmer. All of these temperatures pretty much right around normal, and bountiful sunshine for everybody tomorrow. And that's going to be the last day of all that gooey good stuff. So here's what's going on. Here's today. Again, pretty quiet. We had the clouds in the morning. The 86 themselves right on out of here. By late morning, early afternoon, they're gone. We'll have nothing but sunshine on Tuesday. Look at that. Just a beautiful day. No wind, no clouds, no rain. Very benign. Tuesday night, we'll start seeing the clouds roll in. It'll make our overnight lows a little bit warmer because the blanket will be on. And then this unit right there, it's coming in. It'll start coming in Wednesday afternoon. By Wednesday night, we're going to have some rain. By Thursday, we're going to have some rain. We could have a 90% chance of rain. Of course, we need the rain. We're still in the drought. But we need a nice, long, steady rain, and it's going to start Wednesday afternoon into Wednesday night, all day Thursday for Halloween, all night Thursday night for that matter, and right on into Friday morning. We dry out on Friday afternoon. We see some more cooler temperatures come in, and a friendly reminder, the snow level is going to be down to about 3,000 feet towards the end of this work week. So mountain pass travelers, you could see things a little dicey as the snow level goes down, but the snow level is going to be going down at the same time the moisture tapers off. So we shall see, but you could see some early morning snow in some of the foothills and certainly up in the major mountain passes as we work our way through Sunday. And Monday, we start drying out a little bit, and it's going to start feeling like November because it'll be November. All right, 56 our high today, 37 for the overnight low. Going to be a little cooler on Tuesday, pretty close to the freezing mark. Some of you folks could see overnight lows in the 20s on Tuesday into Wednesday morning. Wednesday, clouds and then rain Wednesday night. Rain Thursday for Halloween, rain Thursday night, rain overnight Thursday night into Friday. We start drying out by about noon on Friday. Fairly sunny. Temperatures about normal. A good-looking weekend as we welcome November. But again, the big story, much-needed rain, really is going to start going Tuesday night. It's going to be raining most of the day Wednesday and certainly Thursday for Halloween. So now you know. All right, that's your forecast, and there's a lot more to get to on this Monday edition of the NCWLIFE Evening News.
Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa, located on South Wenatchee Ave, has the largest selection of spas and swim spas in town. Stay cool this summer in an artesian swim spa and use it all year long. We enjoy helping families reconnect one spa at a time. Hot tubs are proven to improve sleep and decrease arthritis pain. Our passion is water, so please bring us a water sample, and we will help you diagnose your pool or spa water for free. Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa, your pool and spa experts.
We see that we're losing a lot of really talented individuals. And some of those individuals, it's a direct result of a toxic work environment. That's not what we are being told, of course. The way that I perceive how we're supposed to understand this is that they're just moving on to other opportunities.
Oh, happy Monday. Not so much for Seahawks fans. Buffalo dominated Seattle Sunday 31-10. Seahawks offensive line continued to struggle, and the defense was gashed for 445 yards, make that 445 yards, as the Seahawks showed no signs of being the team they were just a week before in Atlanta. Coach Mike McDonald says, yeah, it's frustrating considering all the work that went into the game.
I mean, that's a result of a good football team that outplayed us in three phases, and then it gets out of hand when you're doing the things that we did today, where we didn't help ourselves as well. So it's a laundry list of things. We could go line item by line item if you want, but the long and short of it is we got outplayed, we got outcoached, and we got to go make it right. So, I mean, I feel like it's too often that we've had this conversation with you guys of going back to work on Tuesday and hitting this thing head on and seeing if we can get this thing turned around and against a good Rams team coming in here. We talk about stacking wins around here, and when you're going on and off, back and forth, it's frustrating. You want to be able to build on the good things that we're doing, so we can get our program to where we want it to go. And then when you take steps back like today, it's very sobering. It's frustrating, and but this is the NFL, and if you don't bring it and have your best against good teams, you're not going to win those games. So our guys know that, and us as coaches, we got to prepare our guys the best we can. We got to call great games. I mean, this whole thing has to keep coming together. So, but time is ticking, as we say. I mean, we're about halfway through the season now, and but you take a step back. I mean, we're right in the thick of it in the division, and this game coming up is going to be a big one.
Also on Sunday, Arizona edged Miami 28-27, and the Niners beat Dallas last night 30-24. That puts the Seahawks, Cardinals, and San Francisco all with 4-4 records. The Rams come into town on Sunday at 3-4. Well, the Huskies continued to struggle while the Cougars just kept on winning in college football over the weekend. Washington had a hard time making any stops against 13th-rated Indiana, falling on the road Saturday morning 31-17. Washington State improved to 7-1 with a 29-26 win at San Diego State as John Mateer threw for 2 touchdowns and rushed for 2 more. Eastern Washington dropped to 2-6 on the season with a 38-28 loss at Idaho. Meanwhile, Kennedy McGill threw for 2 touchdowns, rushed for a couple more to lead Central Washington to a homecoming win over Midwestern State 42-21. Well, after winning 3 straight, Seattle Kraken have now lost 3 in a row after falling to Carolina Saturday 4-1 in NHL play. Hurricanes blew through Climate Pledge Arena with 38 shots on goal. Jared McCann only Kraken to find the back of the net. Seattle heads for Montreal tomorrow at 4 o'clock with a game broadcast on Kong TV. The Wenatchee Wild dropped to the bottom of the Western Conference in the Western Hockey League with 2 more losses over the weekend. Wenatchee was no match for Tri-City Friday, falling on home ice 6-3. Luka Sherbina scored twice and Noah Szymanski once in the loss for Wenatchee. Saturday, much different as Wenatchee raced out to a 3-0 lead in Everett on goals by Evan Friesen, Kenta Isogai, and Miles Cooper. Isogai's second goal of the game gave Wenatchee a 4-1 lead in the second, but it was all Everett from there as the Silvertips scored with just under 3 minutes left to win it by a final of 5-4. Wenatchee's back on home ice this weekend, Friday against Everett, Saturday against Edmonton. Wenatchee and Moses Lake posted non-league volleyball wins over the weekend. The Panthers swept Meade 3-0 while the Mavericks topped Prosser in 3 sets. Chalan is the District 6 1A volleyball champ after winning over Omak Saturday. The Pioneers advanced to the title game by sweeping Cascade. Other volleyball, Tenasket and Liberty Bell, both with straight set wins over Lake Roosevelt and Brewster, respectively. NCWLIFE will be courtside on senior night tomorrow night at Wenatchee High School, where the Panthers host Eastmont in the last home match of the regular season. I'll be courtside with your play-by-play. The pregame getting underway at 6:50. Wenatchee Panthers stayed unbeaten in Big 9 girls soccer with a narrow win on Saturday. Wenatchee won its 10th straight to improve to 13-1 overall and a 1-0 shutout of Eisenhower. It was the Panthers' 7th shutout of the season. West Valley edged Eastmont 3-2 Saturday, while Ephrata blanked Grandview 4-0 and Quincy topped Othello 2-1. Omak beat Chalan 3-0. Tenasket topped Pateras 2-1, while Okanagan beat Brewster 2-0. Well, Eastmont bounced back from a loss to Moses Lake in a big win over Walla Walla in prep football on Saturday. Austin Zielinski rushed for 166 yards and 2 touchdowns, while Bodie Yale scored a couple more as the Wildcats rolled over the Blue Devils 52-6. Moses Lake kept rolling with a 58-0 win over West Valley Friday as Brady J threw for 404 yards and count them 6 touchdowns. Davis beat Eisenhower 41-21, and of course you remember Wenatchee fell to Sunnyside 20-15. Ephrata picked up a 34-13 CWAC win Friday over Sela. Quincy was shut out by East Valley 53-0. Othello beat Toppenish. Prosser, that is, eased by Ellensburg. Tri-Cities Prep no trouble with Grandview winning that one 48-20. Following the game we broadcast last Thursday with Kashmir handling Chelan 61-7. Zilla zapped Wahluke Friday 50-14. On Saturday, College Place knocked off Kiona Benton 35-6, and Connell beat Wapato 52-12. Omak claimed the Caribou Trail League title Thursday with its 40-9 win over Cascade. In Central Washington 2B play, Lake Roosevelt got by Tenasket 40-35. Liberty Bell beat Brewster 55-24. Okanagan down Manson 48-8. For the 1Bs, Oroville topped Selkirk in big fashion. Moses Lake Christian beat Bridgeport, and Waterville Mansfield edged Soap Lake. By the way, NCWLIFE broadcasting Big 9 football this Friday at Wildcat Stadium. Eastmont celebrates senior night against the West Valley Rams. Grant Olson and Brandon Hartley will have the action. Pregame beginning at 6:30 right here. That's Look at Sports News. I'm Eric Granstrom. Have a happy Monday.
And that will do it for our newscast tonight. For more news from around North Central Washington, you can find us at ncwlife.com, on our social media channels, or on our mobile app for iPhone and Android. And remember, if you see news happening, we would like to hear from you. Email us at news@ncwlife.com or call 888-6295. That's 888-NCWL. I'm Jefferson Robbins. Grant Olson will be back with you tomorrow evening, assuming he can recover from the thrill of victory. Have a good night.